The British Army is arguably one of the best armies in the world, so we're going to take a look into their basic training to see what makes a soldier, with hopefully some tips on the way. So let's not fucking mince about and let's dive straight into it.
It's a 14-week course that takes over recruits from all parts of British society on a journey into the British Army.
You have a lot to learn in the 14-week long job interview. That's what, this training regime's about.
Exactly what you said there. It's a job interview, so make sure that when you go in, you just give it 100%. Treat it like it is a job interview, because at the end of the day, you want the job, right? That's why you've gone through all this hell, all this blood, sweat, tears, the blisters you've accumulated from training before you even get here, fitness. Yeah.
It's a fascinating course. It teaches them many new skills. It's about transforming themselves from civilians into soldiers.
Okay, tip number 1. Make sure that you are smartly dressed like all these blokes here, because when I went into basic, I tipped up at the train station. I was suit and tie. I just shaved all my hair off, and I tipped up in a suit. When I got there were people that were sort of like just dressed in like tracksuit bottoms and just looking a bit scruffy and stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, when you go down there, you're probably going to meet your section commander as soon as you get off the train. So make sure that you are well presented to make that good first impression. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Dress well, first impression. Let's carry on.
Some people come really scared, some people come really confident, and are really excited.
Yo, that block right there that they're walking into is the exact block that I lived in for the 14 weeks. That's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Let's carry on.
To looked after here than you would be in any civilian situation.
I get to see every recruit in day one, and then
Another thing as well, you saw those guys shake hands. I mean, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But remember, like, the army is like any other place in the world that you will work in. There are going to be people that you don't get on with, and there are people that you're going to get on really well with, and everything in between. So just remember that going throughout this. Like, you're not going to get on with everyone and all the rest of it. So just a little point now.
And by the end of the 14-week process, you profess.
Oh, and this wound me up as well, right? So see how they're getting their haircut right now. So I went down, I think I had like it was a grade 3. I had a grade 3 all over again from that picture from before. And I went down there, and the next day, go get your haircut and all the rest of it. And they literally they gave me a grade 2. They gave me a grade 2. It was probably the most pointless waste of time ever. But there are procedures and all the rest of it to go through. So, I didn't make a fuss of it. I was just like, bit dumb, but carry on, so.
Professional soldiers who have grown in stature, grown in confidence.
Yeah, big time. As you go through the training, you will become more confident in yourself. You'll realize all these different sort of abilities that you didn't think you had before. You'll be getting fitter. If you're not much of a social individual, you will become that. You will eventually just sort of like come out of your shell a little. When I went there, I think I was the youngest, but I was the second tallest. And, you're surrounded by these blokes that are, I think the oldest that we had, and he was in the bed space next to me, was about 30 years old. All different life experiences and stuff like that. And I was just some dumb 17-year-old who months ago was just skateboarding and drinking right, okay, I said I was going to go do it. Now I'm going to go fucking do it. So then obviously went in and done it.
Now, when the recruits come here, it can be quite daunting for them to actually take control of a live weapon and fire live rounds.
Initially it's taught in the classrooms, so it's just get to see the weapon, what various parts are, what they do.
Again, something else I'm going to say as well as another tip. Listen to fucking everything, right? So if you go in, let's say you've been an army cadet, for example, right? And you go in and you think you know it all. Shut up. Just honestly, just shut the fuck up and listen to what the instructors have to say. Because the people left and right of you, they may have never, ever come across anything military before in their life. They just went, you know what, fancy the army, let's go for it. So if you are competent, help others, but also listen to your fucking troop DS. Otherwise, you're just going to be in for a world of hurt. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, the nail that sticks out the furthest gets hammered first. So take that as you will.
So the first 4 weeks is probably going to be the hardest time for the recruits within training.
Definitely, it's admin. Like the first week is just complete admin. So like you're getting shown how to iron your uniform. You're getting shown how to shave, because I was 17. I couldn't fucking grow a beard. So people were getting shown how to shave. You go for your jabs and all the rest of it, where you're literally just stuck with all kinds of needles. And it's quite funny because when I went through, they were really nice to you up until the point that you got them jabs. As soon as you got them jabs, you're my bitch now.
Constantly got lessons. There's not really that much downtime for them.
Fucking love drill.
We've started PT.
If you're watching this video because you're wondering about the army and stuff like that, you don't have to be super fit. You have to be relatively fit. Do you know what I mean? But they're not expecting some superhero just to walk through the doors of Pirbright or Winchester or wherever the fuck you're training. But they do expect you to have a relatively high level of fitness. You can't just be like an absolute ham planet and just walk in and expect you to pass, because you won't. You'll either get binned off straight away, or you'll probably end up backtrooping.
Expect Superman on day one.
There you go.
Stop, even when things get tough, that, we help each other out.
When they say fill your water bottle up, I'm not joking. Fill it so you just can skim the top of it. Fill your water bottle up, otherwise you will get fragged.
So the more time you spend on running, sit-ups, press-ups, the key elements will help you during training.
Weapon handling, test and live firing.
We're turning them from civilian into a military. So we teach them from scratch.
As section commanders, we ensure that the recruits go through all the training that they require in order to pass out as trained soldiers after 14 weeks.
A lot of people were sort of like scared. Oh, is it going to recoil? Oh, is it going to hurt? Just sort of like, honestly, just stick it in the fleshy part of your shoulder. Listen to the detail.
Exercise first nights is 2 nights in the field at Steve.
First nights is kind of like camping, but you're learning shit as well. For us, it was sort of like how to set up a poncho, how to set up a harbour area, and like cooking routines and stuff like that.
The first opportunity for the recruits to test their individual field craft.
Really learning your craft as a soldier for the first time.
I believe that you're never a military soldier from a locker, it's out in the field.
And just another tip as well for all the exercises, right? Take everything on that kit list. Take it all. Don't think, oh, well, I don't need this set of boxes or this set of boxes, because they will have you empty your bags and they will check everything, that it's all individually waterproofed as well. When you get to unit, you can sort of like, tailor it to what you sort of want, but during like your training phases and stuff like that, just stick to the list and you can't go wrong.
Using the respirators,
CBRN, here we go.
Gas, what it has in them, and just assure them that if they use the kit correctly, they'll be safe.
If there's a CBRN attack, we're all probably fucked anyway, so.
Are there any questions on?
And expect to come out of the gas chamber literally snot pissing out your nose, sore throat and all the rest of it, fucking just itchy everywhere. Don't wash your fucking face. Do not put water anywhere on your body, because the CS gas reacts with anything that's sort of like moist. So what you're doing is you're creating more of an area for it to fucking sting. So don't wash your face. Just honestly, just wait for the effects to wear off.
The military drinking drill.
Families Day is absolutely great, and I remember my family coming down and seeing me in uniform for not the first time because I was a cadet, but as an actual, semi-trained, I guess, week 7, we're halfway through, soldier. And it's also the presentation of your cat badge. Basically, before then, I believe you do your drill test, or at least I think we did, because you needed to pass your drill test to be then presented with your cat badge. Things might have changed now, but you'd be almost unrecognizable. You really will, and it's a good thing. Honestly, it is a good thing. Also, families as well, don't come down looking like a shower of shit. Okay. Put a little bit of pride into your appearance. Don't come down in trackies and all the rest of it. Maybe a nice pair of jeans, a nice shirt, that'll do. Females, the equivalent, I guess, maybe depending on time of year and all the rest of it. But this is the first time that they're going to see you in 7 weeks. What's that, nearly 2 months? Come down and show them that you're proud of them by putting in the effort, your side as well, if that makes sense. Because to them, that shows that you are proud of what they are doing.
Families Day, it affords the family members the opportunity to come down. We put on demonstration.
Yeah, you get to take part in some of the things that your soldiers have been going through as well, families. As you can see here, there's a bloke right there in the middle in the black t-shirt, just sort of tick-tocking his way across the parade square. But honestly, it's just a good bit of fun just to see what your soldier has been going through for the last 7 weeks.
With fieldcraft in mind, drill, and the other subjects. It all culminates in the beret parade, which is one of the biggest activities that the recruits are looking forward to at this point.
Definitely. So at this point now, you've earned your cat badge. Everyone that comes through, they'll look at that and think, shit, I want to get there. All the other recruits knocking around still with their little crow badges will be looking up to you as inspiration. It's like, I did it. I can definitely do it, and it just sort of like, honestly, it carries on and filters through.
Point in training.
Exercise halfway is 3 nights in the field, and it's their first exercise where they're tested tactically and they're assessed while they're on this.
Again, don't smell like shit, okay? just make sure you're clean, make sure that you're looking after your feet especially.
Can they cook? Can they clean themselves? Can they brush their teeth? Sometimes they might struggle about this in camp.
Oh, the old hexy burners. They're horrible. They leave like all kinds of nastiness on the bottom of your mess tin, so there's no avoiding it.
I really enjoy being on exercise, like sleeping outside.
It is good fun. I remember, I think it was halfway exercise. So this is the stages where you'll get bugged out. What I mean by bugged out is sort of like you'll be asleep in probably a triangular harbour. Your DS will come and basically attack you. You've got to pack all your shit away as quick as you can whilst returning fire. Your basher buddy will returning fire whilst you're packing your shit and vice versa. And then when it comes to bugging out, in sort of like the adrenaline, when I threw my Bergen on, I threw my one strap there and then I threw this one right over and it went across my foot, over my helmet, across my face, and I was just pinned to my Bergen. So I'm just sort of like running around.
Exercise balance.
We all have Hmong moments. I don't give a fuck who you are.
It's an opportunity for them to experience.
So this is your realities of water. That's what we called it, and it's sort of like visiting Belgium, France, war memorials and graves. Like it fucking hits home. It really does.
The horror of war, especially in the museum when they see pictures.
Now this is interesting because when I went, and I will put a picture up here again, we had to wear the issued tracksuits, whereas these guys look to be cutting around in their own civilian clothing and stuff like that. So that's quite interesting.
What we're seeing today is we've been around
Just to touch on this, like that, there are so many great. I mean, look at the size, and they look like fence posts because of this angle. They're probably as wide as sort of like your PC monitor, I guess, if I was to put it to scale with something that might be in front of you. The thing that really hits home for me was two things: the sheer amount of these graves. Sorry, three things then, I guess. The amount of these graves, the amount of the graves that say an unknown soldier, and the size of the lettering at the Menin Gate. It's like a big memorial in Belgium. They close it, I think, every night. I think it's about 6 p.m. They play the last post, and they have people walking up with poppy wreaths and stuff like that. So imagine your Remembrance Sunday parades, but every single day, ever since it was built.
A few war graves, both Commonwealth and British. Just basically walking around.
You get to try on some of their kit as well. That's the Menin Gate. That's the Menin Gate. And all these walls that you're seeing now are filled with names. And the lettering is probably maybe 3/4 of an inch. I don't know what that is in freedom units. You'll have to convert that. My buddies in America. But like 3/4 of an inch. And you look at the size of it. Look at the size of the people in comparison to this structure. And the names are about that big. And the walls are filled with them. It really hits home, and it sort of gives you a little pride.
The soldier developed.
Cave-in. Fuck cave-in. I went cave-in. This is probably Wales. Cool. So I went cave-in. I'm claustrophobic as shit. I was looking at it like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, honestly, I was built like a bus ticket, and I was getting myself in all these little funky little positions and all the rest of it, crawling through. One little sort of like feature within this cave-in place that we went to was, they called it the reverse Superman. So you had to crawl into this hole backwards, dangle your feet sort of like down at an angle, and then you sort of just had to drop. But as you dropped, you had to like give it the sort of like Superman pose. My fucking dangly fucking ass managed to get my elbow caught between two rocks. I was just sort of like dangling there by my elbow, and my muckers at the bottom are trying to free me, as well as my muckers at the top trying to free me, and they had to like try and push my boots up so I could unhinge, or like get my arm out of this place, and then I just fell straight down. Hated cave-in, but again, the purpose of adventure training is to bring you out of your shell. It's to show you that you are capable of things that you didn't think you were capable before. So give it your all. You might be a little bit scared, but honestly, you're going to be just fine.
So as part of their basic training, the recruits then come down and they undertake
it's all good fun and basically kind of overcoming your fears.
Fucking hell, is it fun, but
the elements of the activities, you can certainly see them.
Shouldn't really. I'll kick my ass.
I think their staff would report they could see huge changes
Look at that.
Throughout the week.
Honestly, it's so far from the norm of being back at the training regiment as well. Obviously, your training staff are there the whole time. You pay respects and courtesies, like your ranks and all that kind of stuff. It's not as strict as being on camp, from my experience. It might have changed. But, again.
It's great to see them come on in such confidence and self-awareness and ability.
So I think this is probably the phase where you do potentially your first ACMT, your Army Combat Marksmanship test, which is and it is a pass or fail. Don't worry too much if you fail. You will get a chance to retry, but just focus on your marksmanship principles. The marksmanship principles have not changed in over 100 years, and there's a reason for that, and it's because they fucking work. Take them on board and apply them to every time that you're shooting on the range.
We maintain the highest calibre of soldiers, training NCOs and warrant officers.
Yo, what's that? Does that show? Yo, someone's gonna have to let me know. That is, I'm assuming, it's to show where you're hitting on the target and stuff like that, and maybe some adjustments you need to make to your iron sights to sort of bring yourself on.
And warrant officers and officers.
It's a hugely demanding role for them, but they take great satisfaction.
So this bit can be quite challenging for people who are a little bit squeamish, but end of the day, this is reality. You need to You need to know this shit. Sometimes they actually bring in like actual amputees and stuff like that. So there'll be a dude with like no leg and you've got to square him away and casevac him, etc.
We all know that the benefits and the experience of the recruits during these 14 weeks last a lifetime.
Exercise Final Fling is 4 nights in the field, and it's a confirmatory exercise for the recruits.
Did he say 4 days? I'm trying to remember how long mine was now. Anyway.
Full CMS. It's their opportunity to demonstrate the skills they've learned throughout the entire course.
It is great. Like the final section attack as well. Like, you will be blowing out of your arse, but just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Like I say, keep yourself clean, keep yourself shaved.
It seems more real and realistic compared to halfway. So you go out day-to-day basis, you do patrols, and in those patrols you get different scenarios that occur.
The stands are full with...
Right, now we're on to the moment that you've all been waiting for, and that is you and the rest of your troop getting on parade for the last time, and you're going to march onto the drill square that you've been practicing your drill throughout the entire course. Yeah, you're going to go on there, and if you don't feel a sense of pride at this moment, you will never fucking feel it at all. I can promise. My younger brother, he's filming it. My mum's stood next. She's like, first troop comes on. It wasn't my troop, but she's there, like nudging my brother. He's there with camera, just like, and like, look, there's Dan. He's like, no, mum, no, that's not him. And then second one, same again. The third one was us.
Families, friends, but this is...
Again, families. When you go down for this pass-off parade, dress smartly. Show your soldier that you are proud of their achievements. Because it is hard fucking work getting to this point. Some people make it, some people don't make it. Some people find out that it's not for them. Some people, medical, just for whatever reason, some people don't make it to the end of the training.
Trade training, having now passed out of basic training.
Look how smart they are. I still remember how I felt. Like I said before, if you don't feel pride when you are in this position, you never will. Like, this is me when I was stood where these people are now.
They could be very proud of what they've achieved in their time here, and they are then well...
Oh, and throughout as well, there's also competitions. There's one that you don't want, and that's most improved, because what that says is, yeah, you were a shitbag, but now you're less of a shitbag.
Set to progress on to phase 2, the second stage of their basic training.
They leave here and they learn the skills and the trades that they will fulfill in their army careers.
This is it, and as you progress through your career as well, you will pick up more skills, drills, and all the rest of it. How to, basically, all the things, all the basics that you've been taught in, in Pirbright, for example. You can advance on those. You can make life a little easier for yourself as you go on. They teach it the way that they have to teach it. However, when you get to unit, there are little things that you can do for yourself and show others, as others may have shown you. Basically just to make your life a little bit easier. Like, instead of using mess tins, you're now allowed to use a jet boil because you're a big boy and you've got to unit, or big girl, whatever.
But they won't forget what they've learned here. And they take with them friendships, memories, and a sense of belonging that will last a lifetime.
14 weeks.
Big time. I made a really good friend. I'll just call him DH. But me and my buddy went out, we bought, still have it, and we got ourselves one of these each. I've still got it, and we got Tekken.
This is nothing. To work hard for 14 weeks is absolutely nothing.
I enjoy this life all round, altogether. This is definitely a life for me.
They now have a better understanding.
I'm really surprised, you know what, I'm really upset that they didn't go over bayonet training. When I went through, I was taught bayonet training. One of my buddies who went into a tank regiment, he had never touched a bayonet throughout his whole basic. And I was actually really shocked by that, because I think it's something important that you need to know, especially with things that are happening around the world. And there's trench warfare, which I never thought I'd ever see again I never saw it in the first place. What the fuck are you talking about? You weren't there. rewind. I never thought in my lifetime that I would see trench warfare. Bayonet training was probably one of my favorite days. Like, you are messed around all day. You know, you get frag timings for eating your food being in literal minutes, just thrashed around for the most basic of things, even though it's, you know, to you at the time it seems trivial, but what they're trying to do is they're just trying to piss you off. So when you go down to the bayonet ranges, that you are aggressive and ready, but it has to be controlled aggression. Don't, you know, just go fucking mental with it.
Understanding of what it means to be a team player, how supporting others for the benefit of shared goals brings rewards that matter, how to form strong teams from diverse groups, and how they can improve themselves through their own application. These are things that matter, and that is what Army Basic Training delivers.
So that's a brief introduction there to Army Basic Training. As I said at the beginning, there would be some tips. So first of all, don't be the green man. And what I mean by that is don't stick out. Apply yourself, give 100%, but don't be the guy who's fucking up. At the same time, don't be the fucking guy who's a bit of a, you know, a know-it-all. So just sort of like chill in the middle, stay around there. Secondly, don't take beastings personally, right? End of the day, the DS staff are there to do this. It's to break you down and build you back up, to instruct you, but they're also there to install discipline, and that comes from absolutely fragging you to your eyes bleed. You could give 100% and they will still pick you up on something. Tip 3, right time, right place, right kit is a saying that you will hear throughout your military career, not just in basic training, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. Be at the right place at the right time with the right stuff. Listen to exactly what they've told you to bring. Okay, listen to timings and locations. It's usually outside your troop lines, but you know, right place, right time, right kit, important. Don't be Jack. And Jack is basically a army term for like selfishness, if you want. Make sure that you're applying yourself to section tasks such as keeping the room fucking tidy, and as well as troop tasks. Help others where they're struggling, and they will help you where you might struggle. You know what I mean? End of the day, the army is about teamwork, and you need to know that you can trust people on your left, your right, front and back, that you could take these people to war with you, because ultimately that's the reality. Like, you could be going to a war zone with these people or people similar to these people around you. So you want to be able to trust in them, and they need to be able to trust in you. Tip 5, and probably one of the most important, prepare to leave the army from day one. Like, you've just started your career. Take advantage of every single learning opportunity, be it extra qualifications, driving qualifications, just any sort of learning that you can do, take advantage of it. So then when you do eventually come out here into Civvy Street, that your employability is much higher, and you will find the job that you want after you leave. And if you're current or serving, drop a comment below. There's a little bit of advice to the next breed of soldier that's going to come through. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure you like and follow. If you didn't, drop some constructive criticism down below for me. What can I do better? What didn't you like? What did you like but you think could be made better? Let me know down below.
Okay, bye.